right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Brian Forbes, and
this right here
is the Black Factor.
And tonight we're going to talk about what else?
George Floyd's murder trial. The trial
is going to hopefully convict his killer.
But we're going to talk about it
in depth because we have a special guest on tonight, and he is
a veteran of law
enforcement of about 30 years, y'all. And we're going to find out what he has to say about this whole thing, because you know they say them folks in blue stick together. But we're going to find out. I don't know.
we gonna see.
Y'all don't forget before we get started, be sure you can check us out on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, and YouTube. And of course you can download the Also Smooth Radio app, so you can check us on Wednesdays for the live.
Thank you for that low max.
Say I got an echo. Let me fix that.
Is that better?
So So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get this party started, get this show on the road, as they say. So let's go. All right. Here we go. I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Y'all have to forgive me. I got people yelling in my ear. Anyway, so look, y'all. Don't forget, you can check us on all the other platforms, but don't forget to hit the share. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the follow. Don't forget to hit the notifications. Hit them buttons, because when you help by supporting my show, by just showing up, it makes a big difference, y'all, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate all y'all to come in and hang out with your boy. But right quick, before we get into the whole Derek Chauvin case dealing with George Floyd, I want to say something about these new voter laws. Now, y'all know Georgia went and pulled it. They went and tried it. They came out here with this new thing where they're going to be attempting to, well, they've already passed the law. But from what I understand, Texas is next. Texas is now, they have new bills on the floor that they are about to attempt to try and do the same thing that Georgia did. But I'm wondering how that's going to work out. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I know, like, North Texas, that's up there in Dallas and those areas. And, you know, Houston is pretty liberal. But down here in the south of Texas, we're pretty open-minded down here, and, especially around Austin and that kind of thing. And we have a lot of tech companies here. I'm talking, Microsoft. I'm talking all the big boys, all of them Sun Microsystems, all them huge tech companies. In fact, they call Austin Silicon Valley South. And I'm really curious as to what's going to happen if they try and pull the same thing here. Now, the reason I'm asking that is because it turns out that Brian Kemp, after doubling down on his nonsense in Georgia, the Secretary of State of Georgia today made some comments, and he is trying, they're I think trying to save face. What happened was Delta Airlines made some comments about the current situation with the laws, and they don't like them, and they say that they don't live up to their standards, and they're basically oppressive. Well, the Georgia GOP has gotten upset about that and taken it upon themselves to try and rescind some of the tax breaks that Delta has by being in Georgia. That's their national headquarters, their global headquarters. So I'm thinking now here we have politicians that are attempting to regulate businesses and punish businesses for their free speech. Now, these are the same people who holler cancel culture all the time. What's happening here? Now, do you realize how devastating it would be to Georgia, and particularly Atlanta, if Delta pulled out and moved into another location? Wow. Poppy said, come to Texas. Exactly. They can come to, well, I don't know if they want to come to Texas either. Texas got their own problems. All these red states with all of this nonsense. What I don't understand is if you all are so for the Constitution and freedoms, why you want to try and punish people for speaking their for using their voice. That's crazy to me. What is that about? And then, of course, we know that the Major League Baseball, we talked about that on Friday, MLB has moved the All-Star game to the other state. I haven't gotten any word on where it's going to be yet, but the point is that's millions of dollars down and just gone. Now the GOP in Georgia is mad, but these are the same people who claim that their election was impeccable after they got called on by the former president to say that there was something wrong with their elections, and they stood by saying that they had a perfect election. Nothing was wrong. Well, if nothing was wrong, what's the purpose for these laws? What's the purpose for the nonsense? See, none of it makes sense. But this is what we have to deal with. A bunch of losers, a bunch of people who are very upset that they want to try and affect private business because they can't have their way. Now, in America, last time I checked, that's wrong. There's something wrong with that. Well, what I will say is this. Inevitably, the GOP will pay. Y'all do know what the GOP stands for, right? Grand Old Party. Now, don't that sound like something from a throwback of the past? Now, the problem is, and also they're trying as hard as they can to put this on the lap of Stacey Abrams, which is insane to me. But they're mad because in losing that last election, which they claim everything was fairly run, but there are things that have been said about the way that election was run and the fact that she probably should have won. But I guarantee you, if she runs again, she will win. Now, that's the thing that the people in Georgia need to be worried about, the GOP in Georgia, because this next election is going to be, while they're busy trying to slap people in the faces for exercising their civic duty, they're going to pay dearly for that. And I think that's going to happen nationally, like we already saw in the last presidential election. So it's a shame that they're such sore losers, but then look who they had leading them, another sore loser. But the thing we have to remember, though, too, is that if you look at all of the political scenarios across the entire country, across these entire United States, you have to remember that old white men are the ones that are running this. It's the way it's always been. Old white men don't like change because it upsets the status quo. It upsets their sensibility to have their financial freedoms, their racial freedoms, and the list goes on. And of course, when change comes, then that means they have to give some of that up. That comfort zone that they live in, it becomes a little less comfortable. And I think that these are the things we got to deal with. It's like right now, Joe Biden is now trying to put this infrastructure program in place so that we deal with clean new energy and rebuild the bridges and the water pipes that are lead and all these other things that are going on. But they don't want it. And what I don't understand is, how long do you think we're going to continue to move about in this country under structures that have been in place for 100 years? Something has to give. Something has to change, or it's going to change anyway, whether we like it or not. Bang Dripsy on YouTube says, do I think that the United States in a whole should require IDs to vote? I do not. Well, let me put it this way, within reason. I believe that if you are a United States citizen, you should have the right to vote. But here is the thing, and this is where some of the hypocrisy comes in for a question like that. In other countries, for example, I'll give you an example. One of my daughters lived all over Europe, as a matter of fact, and her last place she lived in Europe was in Spain. And one thing about places like that, when your visa runs out in those countries, when your visa runs out in Spain and in France and some of those other places, they come find you. You're not going to stay there. You will get extracted from the country. This country, on the other hand, people's visas expire, and the only reason they don't leave is because nobody comes and finds them. Nobody says, hey, look, you got to get out of here. And they don't uphold the rules, so to speak. Now, I think that people should have the opportunity to come to this country and be citizens if they want to, like they should any other country, especially based on the rules that were set about by the founding fathers. However, I believe that as far as our voting process goes, if somebody has been allowed to remain here and they are actually paying taxes, I think they should have a right to vote. And a lot of people like to claim that these illegal workers and those type of people don't pay taxes. That's simply not true. They do. And I know that to be a fact. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but I am saying that there is some room for people to, and no, people who don't live here should not be able to make decisions for this country. But I think the voter ID laws, they are designed specifically to harm people who are in positions of, less powerful positions, people who don't have the economic ability to do certain things or get certain things. And you got to remember that the history in this country dictates that voter suppression has always been a thing as long as anyone of color has wanted to vote, period. That's just always been a thing. We've done the history on that. We're going to do some more here coming up because we're going to be getting geared up for these 2020, 2020, what are we, 2020, 2021, 2022 elections, because we need to not sit around on our hands and pretend like these midterms don't matter, because they do. They're very important. They're critically important, as a matter of fact. But we're going to need to be getting our infrastructure in order. So these people are going to have to be voted out of office. It's really as simple as that. Because my question is, whatever happened to a time when people voted and sent individuals to represent our districts and our areas of the country that went to do the will of the people? See, now they're doing their own will. They do what they want to do. They do what they choose to do based on whatever they're told to do by the Mitch McConnells of the world. They're not doing the bidding of the people in their district. People in their district need jobs, need things that are dealing with what's happening in that part of the country. I mean, just as an example, here we are in Texas, and states' rights, that's a thing. And we just had a winter blast come through here. And what did our representatives do? Get on airplanes and get up out of here. These are not people who are interested in doing what we need as a collective in this state. These are the same people who want to tell everybody else what to do, want to go and try and sue other states for what they're doing in regard to elections and things like that, but can't take care of their own people. These people got to go. They need to get up out of here. And we need to do something about that. We vote for these people. And if you're voting for somebody who is not doing the will of the people and doing more about what they want to do as far as staying in power, then there's something wrong. Because it's not about the collective power of a party. It's about the collective power of the people within an area that needs to be assisted by that political representation. We got to get back on our civic duty, man. We got to get back on holding the people that we vote for accountable, hold their feet to the fire. We have to. These people are doing what they please, not what we please. And that's wrong. That's like you owning a company and you hire somebody, and you hire this guy and you tell him what you want him to do every day. But he said, no, I don't want to do what you want me to. I'm going to do this over here. It's not what I asked you to do. That's exactly the same way the people should be treating the representatives that are sent to Washington on our behalf. If they're not doing the job that we want done, they got to go. It's time to fire them. It's as simple as that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to jump into this whole George Floyd murder trial. And let me tell y'all right quick, we have tonight our special guest, our official law enforcement correspondent for the Black Factor, Mr. Brian Big Butch Carradine is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Give that man a round of applause, please. All right. Big Butch, what's going on, baby?
Thank Hey, good evening, Black Factor. How's everyone?
Man, we in the building, Jack. We in the building. We got people here from Minnesota. We got people from Texas. We got people from Chicago. We got a whole bunch of folks in here tonight, man. We got people all off the East Coast. My girl Val Lomack, Jaquilla Hughes. Let's see who else. We got Hebrosky is in the building. My man from Atlanta. See, that's what I'm talking about. We got everybody in here tonight. So, Mr. Carradine, you've been in law enforcement for what? About 30 years now, right?
32 years.
Ooh, man, let me be the first to shouts out to you, man. First responder in the building, doing the damn thing. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, don't forget to put that handle on the front of that.
Oh,
Retired.
yeah. My bad. I forgot about that part.
January 6th. January 6th, I let them have it back.
So you was an official citizen again.
Too much going on.
Man, what you talking about? You already know.
Yes, sir.
So look at here, man. Watching this George Floyd murder case trial with Derek Chauvin, neck on the chopping block. What is your immediate thought about what's taking place?
Hey, man, justice has to be served.
Okay. Well, I mean, let me back up. You represent or represented for 32 years law enforcement. And I know they have that thin blue line or that blue wall or whatever they call it. And you all tend to look out for each other, protect one another, so to speak. What do you think about what you've seen so far with this case?
Hey, man, just like you see it in that court of law, he is on his own.
Yeah,
He got to answer. He got to answer for this by himself.
Okay.
For what he's done.
Yeah, because and if those other officers were to try and pad this, would it be a form of what do they call it? I don't even know the word for it.
Hey, look.
Perjury.
That's why it's co-conspirators right with him. That's on the chopping block too.
Yeah, they sure do. They do have to come to trial.
You see what the administration is doing?
Yep.
Hey, they telling you straight up, hey, it shouldn't have been done. You know,
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, I did find that the testimony of all of the officers that have been up there so far has been very compelling because they absolutely have said he should not have done that, period. There's no getting around that.
At all.
Now, here's the thing, though. This is what I find interesting. Now, the defense is going to attempt. This is what I see the direction that they're heading in. They kind of told everybody what it was going to be, but the direction that they're heading in, as far as the defense is concerned, they're going to say that George Floyd ingested a substance that would have caused him to overdose and have a heart attack under those circumstances. What do you think about that defense?
Under those circumstances. Okay. If he was just walking down the street and they never would have stopped him, would he just passed out and died?
Yeah. Now, there you go. That's the question.
They just talked to emergency room doctor today. And what he was saying, from what he said, without even doing an autopsy, he's just saying that, hey, he died from not being able to breathe.
Wow.
That man's knee.
Yeah, that'll do it. But now, what I found even more compelling than that was the testimony where they talked about the Narcan and how officers are now being trained with the Narcan that if a person that is in their custody or a person that they come to serve in an emergency is overdosing, they are to administer a Narcan shot. So I think by that testimony alone, I think that it is probable that they're not that shoots a big hole in their defense, because if that's the case and they're trained to deal with someone that is potentially incapacitated in regard to being on a drug overdose, would it not have made sense for them to stop? And if they believed that he was had ingested something, that they would have given him a Narcan shot.
I've used Narcan numerous times.
Okay.
And every time that I administered Narcan, it wasn't on someone that was talking to me.
Dig that.
It was on someone that was near death,
Okay.
unresponsive. Okay. Once you shoot the Narcan up in their nose, boom, they come back to life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
Hey, somebody that's talking to you and begging you not to arrest them, you usually don't use Narcan on those individuals.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm. What about at the point where he became unresponsive, though? I mean, like, did they? That's where I think the whole thing gets lost. I think when it gets to the point where he becomes unresponsive and there's no response. He's just there.
This man kept his knee on his neck.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
and when he fell unconscious, his knee was still on his neck. Wasn't no first aid, or trying to do CPR or anything else.
Now, have you ever been in a situation where something like that became necessary, or you had to restrain an assailant to the degree where it became almost deadly?
I've never in 32 years been in a 9-minute fight.
Now, with 3 other officers helping you.
When the cuffs go on,
the fight is over.
The fight is over. And like I said, I witnessed them. I've been watching this over and over. They put them inside the squad car. Mm-hmm. Why did they take them out?
Now that's what I was wondering.
I don't want to money back quarterback them, but usually that's if an individual is kicking, damaging your car, busting your windows or whatever. Mm-hmm. Man say he was claustrophobic. You had him in the car. All he had to do was shut the door. Why did he drag him out the other side and put his knee on his neck?
Now I did hear some parts of a testimony where they were the idea that came up that if a person is potentially incapacitated to the degree where they are not able to understand a command. Like if a person is, because I mean, think about it. How many times have we known people to have phobias, like claustrophobia, and
Correct.
They're freaking out and they don't want to get in the back of the car and they're not listening to you because in their mind, they're going to die if they get in that car. Same thing if they are incapacitated by drugs or some other intoxicant or potentially mentally unstable. Is it not the duty of the officer to do something different in order to make that situation as practical as possible?
4 officers put him in the car, had him in the car, shut the left door, shut the right door, and take him to the station.
The end.
Now, I can't sit there and even imagine what was they waiting on 9 minutes on the ground? What was they waiting on? They wasn't waiting on another transport car.
Huh.
Hey, and I throw something even crazier. In 32 years, I ain't never took nobody to jail for a fake $20 bill.
Nah.
unless you had a pocket full of them.
Now, you know what? Now, I thought about that. I talked about that on one of the previous shows, and I thought it was really odd that they would. But see, to me, the initial approach I thought was questionable because he walked up on the car with a firearm, hand on his firearm, and basically spooked the man right off the bat. Like, he had his hand on his gun. He's telling him, what are you doing? He get out of the car and that kind of thing. He's scared to death. He don't even know what's going on.
Did we ever find out if it was a fake $20?
We never found that out. That has never been established.
And it's always been given the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
If I come up to you, I say, hey, Black Factor, listen, I've been informed that this bill is fake. I don't know if it's fake or not. You want to give me your identification?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to confiscate it.
Right.
And this person be sent on their way. Now, if he got a pocket full of them, or he didn't pass more than 2, more than one or two, then he got to stop. He got to take him in to see Secret Service.
Well, that brings me to my next point. You are dead on. You right up. You segue in me perfectly. Now check this out. So there is a friend who was in the car with him. I don't know if we call him a friend. He's supposed to be an acquaintance or whatever. Maurice Hall. That was his name.
Right.
And apparently the store clerk had seen this guy earlier in the day. And he had tried to pass him a counterfeit 20 earlier in the day that he rejected.
Okay.
He recognized him inside the store. This was his testimony. And remembered that he was the guy with the counterfeit 20 and he was with George Floyd. So that's when it became questionable about the bill. So then he double checked it. And that's when he figured that it was probably counterfeit. So the store manager sent him out there twice to see about what to do about the bill. And I believe they called the police. Now, he was lingering outside the store chilling All this time they call the police. Police show up. He's still sitting there like nothing is going on. So it would stand to reason that he probably didn't know. But I think the guy in the car that was with him did. Now, here's my question. What do you think about this guy who now has said that he is about to plead the fifth if called to the stand, and he don't want to testify on the grounds that it may incriminate him?
Yeah, correct. Because in this saying, it just wasn't probably happening. Hey, man, here's $20. Go get a pack of
Go get us a pack of squares.
Newports and a half pint. You know what I'm saying? He might have known that it was bad, if it was bad. And he might have passed it out. So now you don't want to incriminate yourself and possibly be charged with something.
That's pretty amazing. But
yeah. But it just never ever should have went that far, and things happen like you said with the brothers in blue protecting one another. Hey, believe it or not, we all men and women. Hey, and sometimes, hey, it's another saying say, hey, just because you stepped in shit, don't come wipe it on me.
Nah, that's a smart cop. Well,
because they're going down.
Me knowing you personally, I know you didn't want no trouble. So, some of them other cats, though, they be looking for it.
Hey, not them cameras. They already knew it. Like I said, you got cameras, you got recorders, you got cameras everywhere.
Yeah, nowadays.
I cannot justify no way why this man had this man on the ground for 9 minutes with his knee on his neck.
In the prone position.
Why? What was he waiting on? What were they waiting on? It wasn't like he was kicking their windows out, so they wanted to hog time, we call it, and tie up his legs and everything,
right,
and then put him back in there. I'm still gassed by why did they pull him all the way out the other side?
Right. He went completely through the whole car like a tunnel.
He a big man. Leave him in there, get him to the station, and get him on up. Let the windows down. If he claustrophobic, he's still gonna be claustrophobic. Unfortunately, we don't transport in buses.
Right.
You claustrophobic. I'm sorry. This is all they gave me to drive you to the station.
You got to take that little 5-minute ride.
You want to deal with it. You want to deal with it till we get here. Till we get to the station.
And if that person in the back, I guess, passes out from that sort of thing, then of course you call paramedic, right?
First aid. You're gonna render. Then you're gonna call an ambulance. You're gonna render first aid. But just because a person say I'm claustrophobic,
right,
no, you're not gonna call no ambulance because he's claustrophobic.
Well,
the ambulance don't transport you to the police station.
Well, because the defense was trying to use the idea that he kept saying from the onset that he couldn't breathe, even when he wasn't being restrained at the time. So they're trying to say that he just kept saying that and they didn't have to listen to him because they didn't necessarily believe that he couldn't breathe, even regardless of the fact that this guy had his knee in his neck and was digging his knee into the doggone veins of his neck, because that was, and it's funny because I don't know if you saw the testimony, one of the first witnesses who was the mixed martial artist.
Yeah.
And he pointed out a few things that I thought was very interesting, where he said that he actually could tell where the way he had his toe positioned, he was using it to put pressure on the knee, and he kept adjusting it, and you could see the pressure going down into the neck even more. I thought that was pretty damning.
He was very comfortable
with his hands in his pocket and his sunglasses on his head.
He was very comfortable with
it.
He was very comfortable.
His posture didn't.
But now I guarantee you, everyone believes that he can't breathe.
You think?
Because you'll have people say all kind of stuff, and then that's the chance you're gonna take. But it took you 9 minutes, and it seemed like even after the 9 minutes, the man didn't even care. He didn't try to render no first aid.
and I think part of those conversations that he was having after the fact as well, they had him on camera talking, even to one of the bystanders, and he was going on about, it was just his opinion about what just happened. And
he was talking to the MMA guy.
Yeah.
That was the MMA guy still talking to him.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Now, last question. Do you think it would be a good idea if Derek Chauvin testifies on his own behalf?
What could it hurt?
Yeah.
If he just get up there and say, all he got to do is get up there and say, I fucked up.
I'm sorry.
That's it. And apologize. Anything else is just a lie.
Yeah.
Your training took you to this. Anything else, negative.
Yeah, well, his superiors have already made it clear that that's not part of the training.
Negative. Yeah, his superiors that's in charge of homicide and everything else. You know, guys with years of experience. You're not gonna throw that back on the department.
Yeah, they definitely getting out. They getting out from under this one.
Admit your fault. Like I told you, I don't know why he even took a jury trial. I don't know why. You know, he thought he was gonna get 12 of his people that was gonna acquit him, but I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Well,
I'd be very surprised.
I was thinking to myself, if he took the stand, his next best and I think only hope would be to get on the stand and attempt to show some levels of remorse and ask for the mercy of the jury and the court. Because at this point, I don't believe that it's not going to be, that it's going to be a matter of whether or not he's convicted. I think this is more of damage control. I think they're going to try and get as reduced a sentence as possible. What do you think the possibilities are for time-wise?
I don't think, for one, that he's gonna get up there and admit no remorse or anything. And I believe justice is gonna be served. I do.
Well, you know, a lot of
I
people
really
are
don't-
saying they don't believe, they really don't think that, you know, you got people still walking around, oh, they ain't gonna convict him.
That's because of our history. That's
Right.
because of our history. But hey, listen, they even saying every day, the judge even said, this trial's moving faster than what I thought. Hey, man, they running out. They running out. He wasn't expecting all of these professionals to come in and just say, hey, no, shouldn't have been this way. You know?
I'm going to be very interested to see what defense or how the defense handles the next part of this case and how what evidence they're going to present and what experts they're going to bring forward in Derek Chauvin's favor. I'll be really interested to see that.
Yeah, and what credibility those experts are going to have. I don't. I mean, I know they out.
Well,
there.
we know they're not coming from.
digging some of the
We know
facts.
they're not coming from the Minneapolis Police Department.
It's going to cost them.
Oh boy.
It's going to cost them. I don't know how much money has been raised for his defense, but it's going to cost them to get somebody up there to run their mouth now.
Yeah, especially at this stage.
Yeah.
Today was what, day 6, and as far as I'm concerned, the case opened very, very. It was just off the chain. I mean, the very first thing they did was
man.
their opening argument. They put on the videotape of the killing.
The whole thing, and then showed the other one.
Yeah.
Then showed the police pod cam, and with the dispatcher being alarmed, and she don't even work the street. When she
Yeah.
saw something wrong, that she wouldn't call the
Call the police on the police.
Man, listen, man, I'm telling you. Hey, man, he in a bad spot.
Yeah,
and
Probably not going to wiggle out of this one. You know, they say that he hasn't had one person in the courtroom on his behalf from his family or friends or anyone since the case started.
he probably worried about their safety. That's understandable.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering about that. But well, you know, his wife also attempted to divorce him immediately after these charges came. And the judge really basically shot that down because they were saying they were trying to protect assets.
I would have told my wife to do the same thing. Baby, I fucked up. Catch you in the afterlife.
Yeah. So,
And me, like I said, I done had some rough times out there, you know. But like I said, when the cuffs go on, it stops, man. You fire on me, I'm firing back. It's a fight.
right.
I done been to IAD and had the Internal Affairs Division had to explain those type of things. It's a fight. But ain't no joker gonna sit up here and tell you that I beat him or mishandled him while he was in cuffs. Nah, you didn't punch me, knock me down, I didn't got up. If I won and whooped your ass, hey man, we gonna shake on this. You know,
That's
we
right.
gonna shake on this and it's over. You know, but just to go ahead and abuse them because you got the badge and the gun on, man, it's just.
And that's exactly what I saw. That for me, and I've really tried to be objective about this entire case and not just draw conclusions, especially not having been a police officer. And although I can speak from my own experiences out in the street with these police, and dealing with things. Hell, before you became the police, you know, we had our days.
Yeah, we had our run-ins.
but you know,
Hey, and a couple of times it cost us.
yeah, okay, now, shit. but
70 Buick GS.
yeah, oh boy. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, once those, I mean, I guess I don't know, man. It's to the point now where I'm happy to finally see that justice is beginning to be served, and not a thing where no matter, just because you're wearing a uniform and a badge, that the benefit of the doubt is automatically given, and that justice has an opportunity to work in favor of those who have been victimized. So
it is a new day. It is a new day. It's a new day in policing. That's why I believe at 55 years old, it was time for me to step away. Step away is not because I was doing anything corrupt, but it's a new day. It's for younger people that's going to adjust to wearing a microphone, going to adjust to wearing a camera. You know, hell. Hey,
did you ever have to wear a body cam?
Yeah, and hey, listen, and in our squad cars, hey, a squad car tell on your driving skills.
Oh boy.
Okay, they got a thing called a Verizon tracker that tells how fast you're going. If you're going over 40 miles an hour, you would have to, hey, the supervisor's supposed to be monitoring, hey, why are you going over 40 miles an hour? What are you doing? You know, speed limit 35. What's going on? You're idling too long. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Where are you patrolling at?
Oh, man.
You know, it's a lot of things to get used to, you know, just to keep you honest. You know, you got to record it in your car when you cut your emergency lights on, that it's recording everything in the car. Now, you in the car by yourself, and they want to know why you cursing.
Huh. Ain't that something?
What's going on?
Wow. Okay. See, I didn't even know they were doing all that.
Hey man, it's a new day. It's a new day for policing. Some of the cameras got, whereas whatever you see, your boss could go on look on his computer. He could see where you patrolling.
See what you seeing.
See what you seeing. And those cameras, they supposed to review them. You'll be surprised. My old department just had an individual get terminated on probation recently from a good arrest that he had. However, his when he submitted his camera footage, he was on there calling somebody a nigga.
Oh boy.
You know, so this went to a good arrest that this guy didn't even complain on.
Wow.
The person that he called didn't even complain on. He more worried about the charge that he got.
Wow.
And then here you just blew that. Now this guy, you fired.
Dang.
So who gonna come to court and testify on this UUW?
Yeah, because you ain't working there no more.
Nobody. So my man done beat his case already.
Wow.
You know, because hey, listen, you got to adapt to this. And this man knew that they had cameras. He knew all of this, and you still programmed in your mind that you still gonna put your knee on this man's neck for 9 minutes. Like nobody's watching.
And there's cameras everywhere these days. Like anything you do out here now, somebody gonna see it.
Hey, they always tell you before you even write it down, you better go look around. You better go look around, because whatever you can see you.
Wow.
And you might not even be able to see the camera that's looking at you, like that camera that they showed.
Yeah, I was tripping. That camera, what was it, up on a pole or something, wasn't it?
On a pole, yeah.
Yeah.
And right now in Chicago, CPD, they big on that.
Yeah, I know. They all over the place.
Plate readers to see your car coming through, what time it went through, and then track that to another area, you know?
Wow. That's crazy. But
hey,
Big Brother's
wouldn't
watching.
Want to be in this seat. Wouldn't want to be in this seat, kid.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be in this seat.
Yeah, no, he in a bad spot. He definitely in a bad spot. I think he already know it's over. I mean, he gonna try this last ditch effort thing. But all right, so with that said, what happens if he is found not guilty?
That ain't gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen. I don't believe that's gonna happen. I don't want to see I know they done wrote the check already. I just don't see. I do not see that happen. I mean, hey, listen. I ain't gonna say I give up, but if that happened, my man, I don't see it. I don't see it. Minnesota ain't ready for that.
I'm about to say, let's just say, found not guilty.
Then the whole police department should quit.
Oh boy.
They should get the fuck up out. They should get the fuck up out of there.
Cause it's gonna be ugly, ain't it?
Shit, they should.
It's gonna have a target on their back.
Hey, I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't have went to work. Shit.
Oh boy.
Hey, shit. We stand together, but I ain't standing for no dumb shit.
I know that's right. Man, oh man. Okay. Well, doggone it, Big Butch, I sure appreciate you. Officer Carradine retired, 32 years.
Just Big Butch again, man.
Oh. My bad. Back to Big Butch. Ain't no more Officer Carradine. It's Big Butch again. My bad.
Big Butch again. Hey, the office is just for the email and the check.
There you go. All right, well,
man.
Look at here,
I
man.
really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you,
Anytime,
brother. You enlightened me on some things tonight, man. I appreciate you coming in. I just want to say, hey, look, everybody, y'all give my man, y'all throw some hearts up, throw some thumbs up for my man. Big Butch, we appreciate you, man. You have yourself a good evening. I'm going to see you here shortly.
Blast, man.
All right, baby. Love, peace, and chicken grease. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Big Butch, Brian Big Butch Carradine, my man from the old school. Boy, we used to kick it so hard back in the day before he became Officer Carradine, and we used to have a real good time. But all in all, y'all, I just want to say that we are in a, like he said, times are changing. Things are changing. We are in a different world these days. And all I can say is that I hope that things turn, where justice is finally about to be served and where people understand the value of their vote and we begin to act accordingly. When we begin to hold our representatives accountable in Washington, D.C., and of course in our local government, in our state government, and begin to realize the power that we have as the people. Without what we do, those people don't have jobs. They don't get to do what they want to do. They have to do what we want them to do. That is the job. And we must show that these things have to be that way by our vote. So, ladies and gentlemen, you must vote. Now, right quick, don't forget to get your copy of The Black Factor, available at bmforbes.com. You can get one. They are in the building, bmforbes.com, in the shop section, y'all. Now, look, on Wednesday, y'all, Wednesday show, you're not going to want to miss Wednesday's show because I'm going to be dealing with what is in the health chapter of this book. I'm going to blow your mind. I'm getting ready to tell you some things about your health and about where we are in this country in regard to pharmaceuticals, medications, vaccines, the food that you eat, the things that we ingest, the stuff you put in your body. I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to trip you out. So you need to be present for that. So get ready. That's going to be a fire show on Wednesday. So with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out. We're going to get up out of here and go and have dinner because it's that time. Thank you all. Like always, don't forget to hit your subscribes. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to hit your notifications because every time you do these things, you help to support this show. And when you help to support this show, this keeps me on the air. All I need is your participation. Thank you very much. That is always a good thing whenever we can get participation. What was that song? The catch-up song was anticipation, not participation. But I need participation, so y'all give me some of that. So with all that said, I want to say thank you. Everybody have yourself. I hope you had a fantastic Easter weekend. And I want to say thank you very much for stopping in. And I'm about to get up out of here. So the last thing I'm going to say, let me not forget also, y'all, Dennis McCullum, You know, one of our Black Factor families. He's still down for the moment. He'll be up in a minute. We waiting on him. He been chiming in. So Dennis McCullum got hit with the COVID-19, but he is all right. So it's all good, and we're gonna move on from there. But thank you all. Everybody have yourselves a fantastic night, and I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget to get your Oh So Smooth Radio app and check us out on Oh So Smooth Radio. Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all.